Alright, sorry about that. Ran out of space on the phone. So let's continue on. This will be part 3. We left off with cleaning up the nipple for inserting the torch head. For whatever reason, the 1/2 inch that I had was tighter than the ones on my first one, so I had to bump up to 3/4. So now it's a little loose in there. So what I did was I got a 3/4 to 1/2 inch reducer. So now it sits in there right inside. So now I got to bump up this size here when I drill it into the can. So what we're going to do is we need to know where to actually drill it in the can here. So I'm going to put a piece of the bottom in there. And we're underneath these bolts here, of course, so I'm going to have to put it up a little further up here. So I'm going to take my black marker and just kind of draw around where I kind of want it. So I'm going to go a little under halfway so it's angled up, and then I want to be able to kick it a little bit forward so we can get that swirl action going on inside. So I'm going to just drill my hole. I'm going to mark here, right there. So that's about where it's going to go. And then I'll grab my unibit. And I don't want to overshoot it, so we want to go to this one right here, which is 1 inch. So I'm going to mark the next one just for a reference so I don't overshoot it. Put your glasses back on. It'll be a little loud. We'll just put that in the middle. You get your hole, and the nipple is tight in there, so I'm going to go a little bit more. You want to be able to push it inside, so it's still a little tight. You got to thread it, but I don't want to quite thread it all the way through. Okay, that'll actually work well. So the majority of this is going to be on the inside. So we'll thread it from the inside. Okay. So now you've got your gas port right here, right there. And you want to keep in mind that whatever the thickness of your walls are going to be is how far out the nipple has to be. Okay, so we're going to set our parts back in there. that one is a little long, so I've got a shorter one. Let's measure this one. This one is 2 inches long. So let's thread that one in there. See how that one fits in there. That one will do good. It still a little wide. Push it out some more. Okay. Wondering what the hell was going on. Alright, so in there, and then from the outside we'll thread the 3/4 to 1/2 inch adapter on there. Suppose I could tighten it up first. Sorry, getting a little warm. Had to turn on the fan. Alright, so now we've got our base in there. I've got it, there's a center line at the seam of the can right here. Kind of center your radius onto that. So let's thread this in. Okay. So now I've got my port pushing on here. Now, should be pretty good. And that'll give you a line for where you could drill through, and then you can clear everything out when you're done. So I'm going to tape off the end so you don't get any of your mixture coming out of the hole. A little bit's a little bit. You're always going to have a mess to clean up, but this will stop a majority of it. Now, I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to mix our sand. Like I said, it's about 50-50 mixture. So we've got sand here, and we've got our plaster of Paris. Be right back. Sorry about that. I had to set my timer. I'm going to pour our plaster of Paris in here. Start with that. Stir that up. help as a refractory. Okay. Looks about good. Put a couple gloves on. And you got to work fast with the plaster Paris makes because it does dry pretty quick and it doesn't give you a whole lot of time to shape. And I'm talking minutes. I'm not talking like you got 10-15 minutes. No, it's drying when you're putting it in. Alright, so I'm actually going to turn my fan. We've got our setup here. That right there. And I'm going to try and pour underneath the table and then also fill up, and then I'll do most of the fill up here. So it'll just fill up to the top of the can. Feels like I got enough, so let's see what happens. Ooh. Stir all that up. So right now it's kind of like a slip consistency. I want to get a little consistency so it's not just like a liquid flying in there. Yeah, it's real. It's soupy.